Welcome, one and all, to the Hurdle Podcast. Today's our specialty, our staple of this channel. And that's Cats football. Obviously, we go to Montana State, go Cats. Got Cats football in our Thursday night game preview. We're going to start off with the Cats' last game at home, or possibly only playoff game this year at home, against UT Martin. The Skyhawks came to town, and we simply just ran all over them.
Yeah.
It was as simple as that. I think it's funny when our boy Tommy Touchdown outran Isaiah Fonse, and it's like Isaiah's up for all these awards, and our backup quarterback, 3 days notice that he was starting, outran him.
He
really
balled
outran
out.
him. He really did. The Cats held time of possession this whole game. They had the ball for 13 more minutes, and it translated to points because the Cats won 26-7 over UT Martin, and really UT Martin's only score was Tommy trying to do too much, which is fine. First game starting, you expect a few jitters here and there from him, but all in all, I think this was a very clean game for the Cats. Other than the turnover, we almost had 400 rushing yards, which is insane to think about. Ran the ball 60 times.
Yep.
It's absurd. 387, 3 touchdowns, and 60 run plays.
Yeah. I got to attend this game and watch it. Montana State dominated time of possession, like you said, with the run game. Malott and Afonso were both extremely effective. Combined, they had over 350 yards rushing and 50 carries. So you're getting around 7 a pop with your two main guys in the backfield there. So they were absolutely fantastic. The defense played, though, the best they've played all year.
Yeah.
They shut down Peyton Logan, I believe it was.
Yeah, he only had 13 carries for 71 yards.
13 carries, 71 yards, and they were playing from behind the entire time. The only even hint of worry that we had the entire game was Tommy's fumble going into halftime, just because it looked like we might get points, and then they ended up getting 6 right back to make it 10-7 at half.
Yeah.
But, the weather played a huge factor in this game. The wind was howling.
Oof.
It was Patriots-Bills like. It was like 30 miles an hour, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Somewhere around there. And you could see that special teams got taken into effect, and you have to be able to run the ball, and Montana State kind of just ran all over them, and the defense played the best they've played all year long against a fairly good UT Martin offense, and they shut them out defensively for points. So, the defense balled out. The big week is this week, though, because if they win somehow this week, they got a real shot at the champ.
Yeah,
but, it's if they win this week,
especially with Sac State losing last week to South Dakota State. So that takes one of the dogs out from our side, which is always good. Yeah, the defense held UT Martin's offense to under 200 yards. They had 180. I don't think you can ask for much more than that. And like you said, defense played amazing. It's just simply, the turnover battle was scratched. We fumbled. They threw a pick. So I mean, we didn't do what we've been known for all year, which is getting these turnovers. But the thing we did do, what we usually do, is stop the run.
Yeah, and they forced 3 and out a lot. Yeah,
because I know we were both concerned with Peyton Logan coming into this game, that he might have a game against the Cats.
Yep. Just
because he was their big part of their offense, and he still was. But again, it just didn't translate to anything because they couldn't finish drives.
He had the majority of their yards.
Yeah, of their 180, he had 70. And
then plus the 14 receiving. So he was literally half their offense still, even in a bad game.
Yeah, exactly. So that's insane. But you hinted at it. It's the big dog game this week. Yeah. The Cats go to Houston to take on the Sam Houston Bearcats with a K. Okay.
That's weird.
Yeah, you're telling me. We're 10-2. Cats, the Bearcats, are 11-0. They had to squeak by against a
incarnate word.
Incarnate word. The Cardinals. That game was a shootout. I know we were both.
We were watching it at the end of the MSU game
because they had a shot. They really did to knock off Sam Houston, which would have made another home game for the Cats.
Yep.
And then most likely another home game for the Cats, which would have been awesome. But
didn't happen.
Yeah, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. These two teams match up very well together, I think, because you've got Sam Houston, who is, I think, the most explosive offense in the FCS outside of Eastern Washington, most likely.
Yep.
because they can do it on the ground. They can throw it on you.
Mm-hmm.
They
don't turn it over.
They just don't turn it over. Like, their quarterback has 7 picks this year, but it really hasn't mattered because they still put up in their past 5 games, the lowest amount of points they put up was 35.
Yeah.
That's concerning because we cannot get in a shootout like they were in last week. Because we're one of those teams that if we can hold a team to 17 to 20, our offense can score 21. I'm not worried about that.
Shootouts turn to blowouts for Montana State.
Yeah. The Grizz game is the one that lurks as what could have been a shootout, and it just didn't go the Cats' way, obviously. But yeah, again, match up very well. It's going to come down to how our defense performs. Because this is an offense like we've never seen other than Eastern, and Eastern wasn't on their A game. Now looking at it, ever since we played Eastern has just been putting it together, and then they hit the brick wall of the Grizz last week. But their offense, their quarterback threw it 80 times.
Yeah.
For over 500 yards.
And had 5 touchdowns.
And that's insane because that's sad to say. That's what Sam Houston could do. Mm-hmm. They very easily could. They have a running game like ours. Their running back has 80 less carries, right around that, and only has 300 yards less.
Good Lord.
So he's just as good as Isaiah, and we're talking Isaiah is one of the best players in the FCS, and that's concerning because, again, we really haven't played anyone with that kind of caliber in the offense other than Eastern.
Yeah.
Yeah, the weather
looks good.
Looks good. There is rumblings. I talked to a cheerleader today in my math class, and he was telling me that they are taking their wet gear because they are being told it could turn into a thunderstorm at some point, which just favors the Cats, I think.
Classic Texas.
Classic Houston, Texas. Oh, sorry. Huntsville, Texas. Same damn thing. But yeah, Sam Houston comes into this game favored by 6. The over/under is 48.5. If I'm being honest, I really thought the spread, the line would be a lot more than 6.5. I mean 6.
Really?
I think so. If Matthew McKay was our quarterback, I would think I'd feel more confident. Just because he brings the air raid to this offense if we need it. And if this game gets to a shootout, I don't know if Tommy Touchdown can just air it out on the Sam Houston team. Because, I mean, their defense is honestly not very good, I don't think. Because I'm looking, they played Dixie State, who's the worst team in their conference, and held them to 10. But then you look at these other games, 27, 28, 42. And then a random 9 against another very bad team. Yeah. So
Abilene Christian.
Yeah, Abilene Christian, yeah. So, dang, I haven't heard them since the 20 that one year. Yeah, this is so hard. It really is. Because, obviously I want the Cats to win. But if we're being realistic, I think we all knew after Sam Houston won that our season would probably be over this week. Yeah, I'm going to take Sam Houston. I just think they're the more established program. They're always this good coming down the stretch. They have the playoff experience. They have home field. I'll take them by 7. I think it stays close, but I'll take Sam Houston by 7.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with you here on one point. I think the point that they match up well, this is going to be a good matchup, I really don't think so because we look at this Incarnate Word game. Incarnate Word, their quarterback threw for 481 yards and 5 touchdowns. We haven't been close to any of those numbers all year. Their leading receiver had 11 for 172 and 2 touchdowns. And Sam Houston shut down the run, only 12 carries for 64 yards. When we look at Montana State now, they are a one-dimensional offense that runs the ball 50 times a game.
At least
50 times a game as a complete unit. And Sam Houston's defense is more capable of stopping the run than the pass. And they have the best offense in the FCS. Granted, we have the best defense in the FCS, but I don't know. In college football, offense just means a little bit more here. I know defense wins championships, but we're not in the championship yet.
Very true, yeah.
And Sam Houston, they're just loaded all the way around. They don't turn the ball over, like you said. They're the most balanced offense in the FCS, which what makes them so deadly because they can kill you on the ground and through the air both ways. They kept up with Incarnate Word, whose quarterback threw for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. So, yeah, I really struggle to see a way that Montana State I could say Montana State comes out and thoroughly gets a win in this game. They can get a win. It's not, in no shape or form is it going to be a dominant win, though.
Yeah, like you said, if anything, it will be a either squeak out game for Montana State or it'll just be a convincing win by Sam Houston.
By Sam Houston, yep. And if they do win, Montana State has to keep this low scoring because if it gets over 28 points, Sam Houston, if they score more than 28 points, they're going to win. I think it's as simple as that because I don't think our offense can put up 28 unless our defense scores. Our defense or our special teams has to score. Is it Patterson?
Yeah, Patterson.
Yeah, he's a great kick returner, punt returner, and he can get stuff done. He had a huge punt return in the UT Martin game that really got a drive going. I believe, if I remember correctly, we scored off that drive, which that's a huge, great drive starter. Mm-hmm. But we just can't throw the ball right now. Being we as in the Bobcats, we went 8 for 20 against UT Martin with 55 yards. Granted, we had over 400 yards rushing, but if it's all going to come down to can Sam Houston stop the run. I kind of think they can in this game. Granted, we have a great running game just because we forced it so many times, but the Grizz showed the platform on how to stop this running offense with a Tommy touchdown run in the QB, and we just don't have that. We have the receiving threat. We just don't have the quarterback.
The arm to get it to him.
Yeah, the arm to get it to him. So I'm going to take Sam Houston in this game by 13. I think it's going to be fairly convincing. But I'm cheering for Montana State to come out and win this game
because we definitely want a game next week.
Yeah,
definitely.
We want the FCS title. So and this team's talented enough to do it.
I think they have the defense.
Yeah, they
have
and
the personnel to do it. It's a matter of putting it all together.
And I think it's going to come down to what's the head coach's name for us?
Brett Vegan.
Yeah, it's going to come down to how he draws up a game plan to actually move the ball against Sam Houston.
Because it didn't happen against Montana.
No, it didn't happen against Montana. The offense looked fairly good, but we had the weather in our favor because it was blowing 30 miles an hour. It's almost impossible to throw the ball. So if it's saying it's going to be 60 degrees and partly sunny.
Probably humid because it's Texas.
Yeah, probably humid. And they get home field advantage. I just like Sam Houston in this game. The stars are aligning for Sam Houston to come out and get a pretty convincing win. They're my favorite for the FCS title. They're dominant. And they haven't given me any reason to not pick them because they're 11-0. So yeah. I am taking Sam Houston here. A little depressing, but
it's a sad.
If Montana State does win, it's going to be 21-17, 17-14, one of those kind of games. 21-24. It's going to be very close, and it's going to be a grinded out game. It's just the weather doesn't favor them. Sam Houston has a dominant offense, and they have the capabilities of a run defense to slow that down. And Malach's just not a great thrower of the football. So, I don't know. I just don't.
The offense is too one-sided right now.
It's too one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Too one-dimensional.
So, the winner of this game will take on the winner of Villanova and South Dakota State.
Whoever wins this game, I think, makes the Final Four. Is that what
the winner makes
that make the championship.
Yeah.
Whoever wins this game, I think, makes the championship.
Yeah.
So there's a lot riding on this game. It just sucks that loss to the Grizz made us play Sam Houston in this bracket.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at this other side. I'm kind of happy we're in it because then we'd either be playing North Dakota State or ETSU or Montana again or James Madison.
Yeah, I agree. I wish we were in Sacramento State's position at the 4, not out of the tournament, at the 4 because then they get Villanova. I don't think Villanova is that great of a threat.
They're a basketball school.
Yeah, you delay your matchup with Sam Houston. So
yeah, you prolong that shit.
Yeah, so it sucks that we gotta face Sam Houston now. But if they win, I honestly think they make the champ.
Which would be. Could you imagine if it aligns Montana State, Montana in the championship?
Odds are low, but it could happen. It could happen.
So you're saying there's a chance?
You're saying there's a chance. Yeah.
There's a chance. All right. Enough cat talk.
Yep.
We got your game, baby. Let's go. Be excited. There's not much to be excited about. Thursday night game this week. Pittsburgh taking on Minnesota. And Minnesota has no Thielen. He's been ruled out.
Yep.
Dalvin Cook is questionable.
He's playing limited. He's actually practicing in limited spurts. They'll probably hold him out just because Madison's a great backup running back, and they don't really need to push Cook until weeks 16, 17, 18.
Yep.
And that's where they're going to give him the full workload if they really want to make a run for the playoffs. So expect Madison to play this week is what I'm saying.
Christian Darrisaw is also questionable. The franchise left tackle y'all drafted out of VTech.
Yep.
I hope he plays in this game. I would love a matchup with if they put TJ Watt on his side.
Yep.
I think that'd be very fun to watch. That you get to see what you have out of a young, talented left tackle, in my opinion. But yeah, this game's just, I mean, I want to say it's a decent Thursday night game because we've had some pretty crappy ones.
Yeah.
I think this is a good matchup-wise. Minnesota is the home team. They are favored by 3. The over-under is 43.5. Ooh. I don't know how much I can trust either of these quarterbacks. That's what it ultimately comes down to. Because Ben has looked god-awful most weeks. He looked okay last week, but that's because the defense...
He looked good against L.A.
Yeah, and looked very good against L.A., against the Chargers.
Yeah.
And then you look at the other side, I'm looking at these Kirk Cousins numbers. It looks like the Vikings should be a 3-loss team because of quarterback play, which it should be. And it's just not. So... And we all know Kirk is never good in primetime games. It doesn't matter when it is. It could be Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night, Saturday afternoon. Doesn't matter.
Saturday afternoon.
Hey, they get a couple Saturday games here down the road. I know Cleveland and Green Bay is one of them, so that should be entertaining.
The Christmas matchups and stuff like
the
that.
The creamy matchup. Gosh. I'm going to take the home team. I think this could be... I know Justin Jefferson's coming off a career game. This one could be even better because their corner room is beaten up. Yeah. That's the reason Baltimore went for 2. And literally, if it wasn't because of T.J. Watt, Baltimore wins that game. I'll get that 2 point. Joe Hayden's out. I know there are other corners that are out or at least questionable or at least coming into this game with injuries. I just don't see a way that Pittsburgh can hold this at times explosive offense in Minnesota with Jefferson and with Madison. They put up numbers. I just don't think Pittsburgh can stop it unless TJ Watt is headhunting Kirk Cousins this entire game and getting pressure. I just don't see a way Pittsburgh's offense does anything because Minnesota is very good against the run. And Najee is a great running back, so I hope Najee has a great game, obviously, because he's on my fantasy team. But I just don't think he has a stellar game. And then it's going to come down to, can these Minnesota corners, can they cover for half this game? Because if they can cover Deontay Johnson, I'm very worried about. Freiermuth over the middle. Yeah, I mean, I know we crap on Ben, but like Deontay Johnson's looking good. Freiermuth has looked good.
Yeah. Najee
out of the backfield's always scary. But yeah, I'm gonna take Minnesota. I'm gonna take them right at the 3. I think they pull out one because this is a must-win for Minnesota. I think this is a must-win for Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Because we're getting to that stretch now where a win here or there can sway a team's playoff position or get you in the playoffs. And this is just one of those games Minnesota has to win because their schedule does not get any easier.
Yeah. Man. I have trouble picking Minnesota games every week.
I know what your heart is telling you.
Just because it's always so close. I don't care if Minnesota's favored by 14.
They'll make it close.
It'll be close. So I think this is another one of those scenarios. I won't be surprised if Pittsburgh wins. I'm going to take Minnesota. I think the big key for me, though, is can Minnesota handle the blitz? And mainly can Kirk Cousins handle the blitz? Because like you said, he's honestly the least clutch quarterback in the entire NFL. I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about it. Dude just can't win football games. And I've been saying it for years on end, literally ever since we signed him. So it's can he handle Tomlin and this blitz, the TJ Watt? We got the most clutch defensive player in the league going against the least clutch offensive player in the league. So that's kind of an interesting matchup.
You just got to hope it doesn't come down to the last.
No, it will. But interesting thing I saw, Minnesota's the only team that has led every game by at least 6 points all year. And they've been winning every game by 6 points at some point during the game, and they've lost.
Most of the time, it's in the first. I'm not gonna lie. Most of the time, it's in the first quarter.
And they lost the one to Baltimore. They were up 14 in the third, and they lost that game in overtime. So they always find a way to lose. They're at home. I think that helps a little bit.
They're like Detroit, just a little better.
Yeah.
They find new ways to win.
Yeah, they find
lose.
they find new ways to win and lose every week. Giving if you're a Vikings fan, you get anxiety every Thursday/Sunday, and like you don't have anxiety Monday night because you know you're gonna lose. So yeah, I'm gonna take Minnesota by 4, 21-17. Low scoring game, I think. I think Madison can still break out over 100 yards. I think Jettis, I think you said those. He's a huge key in this game.
He's due for another big one.
It's
lining up.
Over under 125.
Over.
I think I'd take it like almost right on. I'd probably take the under just by
a
couple
couple
yards.
I would dare say he could push 150.
Push 150? That's fair.
Just because the best corner Pittsburgh has is out.
Joe Hayden.
And the rest of them are not good and or injured. So if Kirk Cousins has a little bit of time, Jefferson's going to have a huge game, especially with Thielen out. I think that just boosts anything Jefferson does. Because really, outside of him, the weapon's going to be Madison.
Yeah.
And I think when you have the best player on the field, when you're on offense, I think you have to capitalize.
Yeah.
Because on the flip side, Pittsburgh has the best defensive player in this game, and he has to capitalize.
Yeah.
If he capitalizes, Pittsburgh's winning this game. If he gets pressure or a sack or two, or hell, he could bat another ball down like he did against Chicago.
Yeah.
I just like Jefferson in this game, and that's one of the pure reasons I'm taking Minnesota.
I'm also betting 3 points on home field advantage, in all honesty. This could easily be a 1-point game. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 21-20, something around that area.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just Ben just gives me worries. Minnesota's defense isn't great, but when he doesn't have a run game, he just can't step up to the plate and make the throws that is needed to be made to win football games. Not like Kirk Cousins can either, so I think we're going to have a battle of two quarterbacks that can't make throws in the clutch. But I think Kirk does a touch more, and I think Minnesota's defense gets one more third down stop than Pittsburgh in this game to get the 4-point win at home.
Yeah, very nice. Very, very nice.
All right, yeah, so that's going to do it for this Cats recap going into Sam Houston. That should be a very interesting game.
It's going to be very fun. Late kickoff.
Yeah.
6:30 Eastern
We'll be watching
time.
it.
We're definitely going to be watching that.
And very interesting also Thursday night game. We don't really see these kind of AFC, NFC matchups with teams like Minnesota and Pittsburgh. So
it should be very fun.
Definitely a very interesting matchup. YouTube people, thank you for listening. Subscribe, like, comment.
Do all the stuff, hit that notification bell.
Yeah, hit the notification bell, absolutely. Do all those things, man. It just helps us out. Share with your friends. I mean, all those things just help us grow our platform. If you're listening on Spotify, you're a rare breed now.
Yes, yeah, that's how you could say
I think
it.
it's safe to say that. Yeah, you're a rare breed if you're listening on Spotify. If you're just rocking with the audio version, come on over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel there. If you like to stick with the audio, thank you for listening.
Absolutely.
I think we just got stuff coming out Friday and Saturday.
Saturday.
And I think we'll have another college football special with my guy coming on. So that's gonna do it for this episode. Thank you for listening, and have a great rest of your day.